Hello everyone! This hour on Verbling, the next in my speaking skills series. Today we're going to do a brand new type of speaking skill, how to talk about your school days, how to talk about the past and things that usually happen, using used to and all kinds of interesting keywords to reminisce and compare experiences. Sometimes I can't speak. Compare experiences is what I wanted to say. So all of that and more coming up in just a moment. But first, let's do a little introduction while we're waiting for people to come on in. So I'm John Eric, your verbing teacher for this hour. And if you click on that link in the chat window where it says John Eric Verbling Teacher, guess what? You can follow me and see all my upcoming group classes. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. I've taught over, let's see, I think it's 1,200 classes. Is it 1,200? I think so. Over 1,000 classes since joining Verbling in February 2013. And over the last 15 years, I've taught general English to teens and adults, business English at companies like Deloitte and Prada and Boston Consulting Group and Bain Capital and many others, exam courses like the IELTS, the TOEFL, and others. So follow me to see my upcoming group classes, and also you can book a private tutoring session where together we will custom tailor your lessons to meet your particular needs. Okay? Just send me a message first so I can make time for you in my schedule. That's all you need to know about me. Let's find out a little bit about you. Let's see who's here. The first person I saw was Mr. Santiago. Hello, Santiago. How are you?
Hello, John. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. What about you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Now, Santiago, I don't recognize your picture, but I think I recognize your name. Have you been here before?
Yes, but not many classes. Maybe 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Okay.
Yeah. I'm from Spain.
And whereabouts in Spain, Santiago? Where in Spain?
In Alicante. It's in the southern. It's near Valencia. About 200 kilometers from Valencia.
And what's the weather like today in Alicante?
It's very sunny. And, and it's hot too. It's about 30 degrees, more or less.
Here too. Yesterday, I'm in Lisbon. Yesterday it was over 30 degrees. It was really amazing, actually. Today too, I think. All right, we are in the sunny part of Europe, you and me. Let's find out about Sabrina. Are you in the sunny part of Brazil, Sabrina?
Hello, I'm from south of Brazil, so it's very cold now.
Oh, it's very cold. Ooh, winter is starting. Yeah?
Yes, that's it. It's 11 degrees now.
11 degrees Celsius.
Yes, Celsius.
Because 11 degrees.
For Brazil, it's cold.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cold. Even for here, that's actually pretty cold. Okay, very good. Now we know a bit about you. And what about, who's here? Mr. Alejandro. Hello, Alejandro. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you?
Pretty good. What's the weather like where you are? Just out of curiosity. Where are you?
I am in Barcelona, Spain.
Ah, so it's nice and sunny too, right?
Yes, it's very sunny and hot.
Sunny and hot.
22 degrees Celsius.
32 degrees. So, you, me, and Mr. Santiago have some pretty good weather today. And where are all of our lovely friends? You know, something very strange is happening in the mornings on Verbling. The classes are all sold out, and then people show up halfway through the class. Ah, here they come. Look at them. I mentioned their names. I didn't mention any names, but here they are. Let's say hello to Mr. Jose.
Hello,
you?
John. I'm doing very well, and you?
I'm good. Let's see. Someone's having trouble with the phone. I have to mute Mr. Vincenzo because he's talking on the phone. Jose, you've told me 100 times, and now I forgot where you are. Where exactly are you in Spain?
I live in Valencia.
Oh, you're in Valencia. Okay.
Yes.
You're near Santiago. Okay, very good. You're near Santiago the person, not Santiago the place.
Okay.
We've got a Santiago not far from you. I'd say hello to Mr. Vincenzo, but all I see is his belly. Because he's standing up. I can't see his face. There he is. He's busy. We'll come back to him in a minute. Okay, everyone. I want to share the material with you, and then we'll get started. So, first of all, take a look at this. When you open up your material, then you know you're in the right place. And I want to start by asking you a question. I'm going to give you two statements to think about. And I want you to tell me which you agree with. Are you ready? Ready! That was you saying you're ready. Are you ready?
Yes.
Ready! Here we go. Statement number one. School days are the happiest days of your life. Statement number two. I'd love to meet my old friends again. Now, these statements may have been written before Facebook was so popular. What do you think? Do you agree with these opinions? I say this partly because I think it's a cultural thing. In the States, I'm always amazed by things like, I don't think you do this in Europe, and Brazil I don't know either. This culture of like class reunions. Every 5, 10, 15, 20 years, there's a big class reunion, and I don't think that's part of the culture anywhere else except the United States. So, think about those two statements and tell me what you think. Statement number one, school days are the happiest days of your life. And statement number two, I'd love to meet my old school friends again now. What do you think, class?
I agree with the first
Yeah?
because I love to go to school and to talk with the other friends and learn. And for me, it's the best time. The second statement, I'd like to see my friends again, probably because I want to know how they are today and what happened. Somebody married, somebody have children, somebody where they work. I think it is amazing, but in Brazil it's not so normal.
Mm-hmm.
Some class you have this kind of thing. If 10 years after you go out, you put everybody in the same place, but it's not a culture. More
class reunion, by the way. Class reunion.
Class reunion. Okay, thank you. You don't have this, but some class do this. A little, if you want to do this. But it's difficult because a lot of people change it of the cities, and Brazil it's very big, so it's difficult to put.
But America is really big too.
Yes, that's true, but it's not culture. So it's if you want to do this.
So I'm just curious about the rest of you. Do you have class reunions where you live? Or is it part of your culture? Because I don't think outside the States anyone does it. Maybe kind of in the north of Europe, maybe in the UK, it's not so uncommon. So a class reunion, as we were talking about earlier, is every 5 or 10 years you get together with your schoolmates. And I mean schoolmates. When you were in high school, when you were 16 years old, you all get together again. Some people do this every 5 years or every 10 years for their entire lives. That means you could be 7 years old and meet up. It's also done in universities. So, do the rest of you have class reunions in your culture?
No, here in Spain, it's not very common to have class reunions. I had 2 or 3 friends when I was studying at the university, but I see there every 4 or 5 months.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I see them.
I see them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I see them every
Exactly.
2 or 3 months.
So we call that, here's a good vocabulary word for you. We call that staying in touch. Staying
Stay
in
in
touch.
touch. Okay.
That's it. That's it. Oops, it's a little hard to hear you, Vincenzo.
Something that is organized by the school, or it's a reunion within friends.
No, it's organized, but it's not by the school. It's by the usually you have like a group of people that organize activities. When you're in school, it's like a student association.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're out of school, sometimes they stay together and they continue to organize things. So it's like voluntary, but someone is organizing it. Not really the school, but it's held at the school. In my high school reunions, which I've never gone to, but I know they exist. It's a long story because I didn't actually really go to high school. I kind of skipped it and went to college. It's a long story.
What are you talking to?
But it is held at high school. You actually go back to your high school or whatever, and university too. So there you go.
Yes, what are you talking to?
And people love it. Yeah, it's a big deal, and I think it's kind of important. But in my case, I didn't spend a lot of time in that school, so it's kind of weird for me to go back. But I think it's kind of important. I know. I know. Tell me if you agree with this. When you see someone you haven't seen since you were a kid, it's sort of like you begin to remember who you used to be, and I don't know. In my experience, there's so much that you forget. As you get older, it's somehow really important to revisit those days. What do you think about that? Do you agree with that?
Yes. I think it's very important. It's a way of feeling at that age. It's something romantic, I think, about this. In order to remember these things, these friends that you loved once. Yes. I can't. Yeah, I don't like to go in the past, teacher. Sometimes for me, the past is past. I don't like to return in the past because it seems something that in order to return like a little child, I don't like it. Yes.
Not when you have a future. And we know.
What? No. What do you mean? What do you mean, teacher? No, explain me. No, I did you say?
When you can look forward, when you look forward to what you're going to do next, when you're focused on the future.
Yes, I'm focused on the future more than the past.
Yeah. Me too, actually.
Yeah.
Sylvia, what about you? Do you have something like a class reunion? Do people get together?
So yes, we have, especially because we grow up together from the primary school, middle school, high school. Most
Right?
of them are also studied also together in universities, and so we usually do, but I try to skip every time because not too many years together. So
Well, what I want to do is learn to talk about the past by reading a short story. It's very
Mm.
short. It's not really even a story. It's kind of a
Okay.
story, but it's very, very short. And we're going to focus on some of the language that's used, but we're also going to talk about the story because it might be interesting. I hope it is. Let's take a look. I'm going to try to do these classes, speaking skills classes, in a different way than before. So this is the first time trying it with a different kind of a format where we get lots of input before we go to the speaking. So not just words, but a whole input and activity at the end. Input meaning a text, a listening, something a little bit more substantial. So let's give it a try. Everyone take a paragraph, and we're going to read a little bit about Bernadette. And I've got some pictures for you to look at as well. So read about Bernadette, and I want you to tell me, you're going to see on the next page, actually let me turn the page for a second. You're going to see on this page that you're choosing the best description of the story. So take a look at number 3, exercise 3. Our memories of school are better than reality. Is that the best description of what you read? One piece of information can change your memories. Or our first love is the strongest. So think about those 3 titles for this short story you're going to read. Okay? And let's give it a try. Mr. Alejandro, can you start us off with the first paragraph, please?
The things I remember most about my first school are the smell of boiled vegetables in the canteen, the noise of games and fights in the playground, and Bernadette used to sit at the front of the class, and she was perfect. She was the teacher's pet, and she always got the correct answer. She was top of the class and got a grades in all her subjects. I used to love her secretly.
Okay, very good. By the way, just 2 words. I want you to repeat 2 words. The first is vegetables.
Vegetables,
Yeah, notice that we don't say vegetables, we say vegetables.
vegetables,
Excellent, excellent. And the name, oh, and also answer with a silent W. Answer.
answer.
Okay, very good, very good. So that's Bernadette, that I used to love her secretly. Did you have a Bernadette when you were in school, Alejandro?
A love secret, yes.
Did you ever tell her?
Yes, I tell my secrets. Love finally don't was more secret.
Oh, okay. And are you still in touch with her today?
I'm. Can you repeat please the last?
Hmm. Remember the expression staying in touch. Staying in touch. That means that you have contact after many, many years. Are you still in touch with her today?
No. I'm not in touch with anybody.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, that's why God invented Facebook, so you can find them again.
I I have some classmates in Facebook, but I don't find almost almost. And I don't know why, but maybe they are not in Facebook or with another name. I don't find anybody.
Yeah.
Almost
Sometimes it's
anybody.
hard. People change their names, they get married. Who knows?
No, in Spain, no. The name is the same in Spain. The woman's don't change the name.
Mm. Well, in America, they not so much anymore, but they used to, which can make it difficult. It's starting to change, though, actually. Well, that's a little bit about Bernadette. Let's keep going. Mr. Jose, can you take paragraph 2 for us?
Okay, John. Bernadette was good at everything. She used to sing well in assembly.
Assembly. Assembly is when all
Assembly.
the kids come together for an
Okay.
activity. Assembly.
She played the clarinet and never made mistakes. She was the captain of the hockey team. She ran around the playing field faster than anyone, and she didn't used to get tired or sweat like the rest of us. She was sweat,
Sweat.
tired or sweat like the rest of us. She was too good to be true. I used to smile at her. I stood by doors and waited for her to pass. I wanted her to see me, but she never even looked. Was
She
was
never
I?
she never even looked.
She never
Even.
even looked. Was I invisible? Did they think she was too good for me? That's what I thought at the time.
Okay, very good. I think we've all had this kind of experience at one point or another. So we can probably all relate to our Bernadette. By the way, if there's any questions about vocabulary, just ask. Remember, an assembly means that the whole school comes together for an activity. An assembly. The whole school is assembled. Okay? Sabrina, keep going. Take the
But-
third paragraph, please. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now I know I was completely wrong. I was looking on the internet a couple of weeks ago and I typed in Bernadette's name just out of interest. Eventually, I found her email address and I wrote a message to her. I didn't get a reply immediately and I thought that was the end of the story. However, a couple of days later, Bernadette made contact. After exchanging a couple of emails, we decided to meet for coffee. I was really curious to know what she was like now, this girl of my childhood dreams. But when we finally met, she looked completely different from how I remembered. I couldn't believe that I used to fancy her.
How do you think she looked?
Uh,
We don't know. We're going to find out. But I wonder what's different about her. I wonder. Sabrina, repeat these 3 words. Reply.
reply.
Yeah. When you're reading quickly, you're dropping the R sound and you're saying reply, like in Portuguese. So
Okay.
reply. Okay, and the next one is exchanging.
Exchanging.
That's
Okay.
right. It's because of the ing at the end.
Okay.
And the last one was finally.
Finally.
Okay, very good, very good. And who's after you? I can't see the name. Oh, it's Santiago. Santiago, can you take the next one?
Yeah, of course.
Go for it.
We talk a little about what we've done since leaving school and our lives now. She's married with 2 kids and has a part-time job in a supermarket. Then we started talking about school, and we laughed together over our memories of those days. I was enjoying the conversation, and I confessed that I used to love her.
Ooh.
I thought she would laugh, but instead she said something which completely changed the way I see my school days. She said, I used to love you too, but I didn't say anything because I was too shy. Too shy.
Oh, Bernadette!
Mistake, I think.
What was I thinking? Oh my God! There you go. Ooh. Ooh, what's that?
My dog. It's my dog.
Oh, okay.
Tito.
I thought that was Bernadette. Okay.
Mm.
Because it said she's changed.
Yeah, she was a pet, no?
It said I couldn't believe how she looked after all these years, so I thought maybe she had changed. You've got a few words at the bottom. We already talked about assembly. Canteen, you probably know that. It's not so strange. Playground. And, of course, shy. Shy. Nervous or embarrassed about meeting people. So I think that's the end of it.
What a pity, eh?
What a pity, right?
What a pity.
I know.
A pity.
I want you to go back to these titles in exercise 3. What do you think the best title of the story should be, in your opinion? Sylvia, why don't you take this one first, because you didn't have a chance to read. What do you think about this?
One piece of information can change your memories.
Mm-hmm.
Number B. Letter B.
Letter B, yeah, not number. Okay. Because, Sylvia, because?
Because if I discovered before that Bernadette loved him, maybe all his life would be different.
Oh, really? What do you think would be different today? It's true.
Like,
He might have had a different life. Tell me one difference you think might have happened.
maybe they would have a love story together.
Mm-hmm. A love story together. A love story you mean like they'd go to see a movie about a romance? What do you mean a love story?
They could be engaged together. They were in night school.
Oh, so by love story you mean they could have had a relationship?
Yes.
Ah, okay. We don't really say have a love story. I understand what you mean, but we'd probably say, I don't know, so they may have, or they could have. Notice how we talk about the past here, by the way. They could have had. They didn't, but they could have had a relationship. So, not really love story. It makes sense, but we don't normally say that. But we could say they could have had a relationship together. Okay. I think you're right about that. Why does option A why is that probably not the best choice? Our memories of school are better than reality. What is it about the story? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
The reality is that Bernadette was also fall in love with him, but she was too shy and she didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm. Say that again. The reality was, one more time.
The reality was that Bernadette
had
no, I forgot what.
Had fallen.
Had fallen in love with him.
Right, not was fallen, had fallen. Like this in the chat window. By the way, if you like grammar, that is called the past perfect, and you can also use the third conditional to talk about these things. What could have happened? What could have happened? Third conditional. He might have, or he. Oh my God, I can't speak. The third conditional has the past perfect had fallen inside of it. Okay, yeah.
Had fallen. Could have fallen.
Could have fallen. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
So
yeah, go for it.
If she had said before, maybe they could have had a relationship.
Exactly. If she hadn't been so shy. They could have had a relationship. Exactly. If you hear this noise, it's because my cat is jumping around the room, and if he breaks something, I will stop the class and strangle him. So that's what's going on in the background. Okay, Mr. Santiago. Yeah, Mr. Santiago, look at the first question. Tell me your opinion. What places in the school does the writer mention? What do you remember from the story?
The canteen,
Yeah, okay,
the playground,
right,
the class,
yep,
um,
and one more.
one more.
Yeah, there was one more.
Just one more, okay? Let me think. Supermarket? Could be?
I don't remember a supermarket.
No.
Did anyone catch the fourth place? Help him out. Did anyone else catch it?
The class.
Let's take a quick look. There was one more. Oh yeah, look at that. You know what? You're absolutely right, Santiago. Look, she's married with 2 kids and has a part-time job in a supermarket.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I missed that one. I was gonna say the fourth was a playing field.
You're right. Yeah, playing field. Yeah.
What? Now I forgot what happened in the playing field. I wrote it down and then I don't remember what happened.
Was
there.
faster than anyone in the.
Ah, right. Yeah. She's like a track star.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Where is it? Here we go. She ran around the playing field faster than anyone.
And she was the captain of the hockey team.
That's it.
She was really good at playing hockey.
There you go.
Right.
Okay, very good. And Sabrina, what about this one? What was Bernadette good at? Well, we just mentioned one thing. What else would you say?
The hockey team.
Yeah?
And
so she's good at sports. Anything else?
yes, but I don't remember. They talk about this.
Mm-hmm. And help her out, class. What else was she good at, from what you remember?
She was top of the class and got A grades in all her subjects.
She was good at everything. Top of the class.
Yes.
Top of the class. Good expression, by the way. The
was
top of the class means like
the run.
The highest
The number
grades.
one. Number one.
Yeah.
Good at running. At running, was very good at running. I think.
That's true as well. She was good at like sports. Yeah.
Yes.
But I like the expression "top of the class" because it shows that like we have a name for that. If you get the highest grades, you're called a valedictorian. Or the valedictorian. I'm probably going to spell it wrong. One second.
She was very, very clever.
Was she good at singing or something like this? At singing?
Actually, I think you might be right. Let me just backtrack. 1 second. I think you might be right.
Playing the flute?
Yeah.
Playing the flute.
Where is that? I believe you, but I don't see it.
The clarinet.
Clarinet. There we go. Clarinet. She never made mistakes. Okay, very good, very good.
She used to sing well.
She did everything. She was super Bernadette.
Yes.
Mr. Alejandro, how did Bernadette treat the writer of the article, of this short story? How would you answer that one?
What means treat?
Treat. When they were kids, what was her behavior like? To treat is a behavior. What was her behavior toward the writer? So, for example, if I treat you well, I bring you gifts and I compliment you.
Mm-hmm.
Does she treat him well, Alejandro?
It's the relationship with the writer, Bernadette and the writer.
Yeah, when they were kids. That's right. Mm-hmm. So to treat is how you act toward someone.
Mhm.
Okay?
I think they was very shy.
She was very shy. Or you mean they both were very shy?
I think both, no, because
Okay, okay.
he don't.
He didn't?
He the
No, he
writer.
he thought.
Eh?
Use the past. Use the past. He did, he didn't, he thought, she did.
Okay.
He thought.
They were both shy,
He
that's true.
didn't say her love, no, to Bernadette.
He didn't show.
He didn't show and say.
He didn't say, okay.
He didn't say her love, no. Because I think together was shy.
Okay, good. He didn't tell her about his feelings. We'd say it like this. Look in the chat window. He didn't tell her
He
about
didn't
his
tell
feelings.
her about these feelings.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Mr. Vincenzo, how did Bernadette treat him? Let's focus on the word to treat. How did she treat him?
Bernadette was very, very shy, and in the other way, in the other part, he thought that she was not interested at him.
Exactly.
That's the problem. So there are a split between the two. A split because one was shy to communicate in order to communicate, and the other thought it was not interesting at her. No, from her. No, I don't know.
She was not interested in him. Yeah.
She was not interested in him. Yes, and so there is a division. A kind of thinking that is not good in order for a relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Excuse me, John.
Yeah.
Is interested in him or interested on him?
In.
Okay.
Yeah. You're always interested in something or someone. And also, I want to look at the word to treat. She treated him, and we need an adjective. So she treated him well, she treated him badly, she treated him indifferently. Right? So I would say that Bernadette treated him indifferently. She acted like she didn't notice him. And after all those years, it turns out that, in fact, maybe she did notice him. She was just as shy.
But shy in order to communicate her feelings.
Exactly.
But she was in love with him.
I want to take a quick look. I think these other questions we've already answered, and we'll give you a chance to do some speaking as well. But first, I want to give me just a second. Yeah, I want to just take a quick look at how to talk about the past. So, it asks you to underline, which you can't do unless you print this out. Yeah. Underline examples of used to, but I don't want you to underline it. I just want you to find one or two examples. So you can go back through the text on slides 2 and 3. Okay? And I want you to find one or two examples of used to so we can just notice the sentence. Okay? Someone have an example for us of used to in the story?
Yes.
Give us the example. Read it for us.
Bernadette used to sit at the front of the class.
Okay, good.
And she was perfect.
She used to sit at the front of the class. Okay, good. She used to sit at the front of the class. Okay, excellent. Does anyone else have another example? Let's get one more.
Yes. Hi.
Go for it.
I used to love you too, but I didn't say anything because I was too shy.
Mm-hmm. The last part again, Sylvia? I'm sorry.
I used to love you too, but I didn't say anything.
Okay, good. I used to love you too. Okay, good. Let's take a look at these two sentences in the chat window. She used to sit at the front of the class. I used to love you too. Let's look at the first one first. Did she sit at the front of the class every day? Class, yes or no? Did she sit there every day?
Yes.
Yes, she did. Right, Alejandro? She used to sit at the front of the class every day.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, Alejandro? Yeah? Okay. Santiago, listen to my question very carefully.
Okay.
Would Bernadette sit at the front of the class every day? Would she sit at the front of the class every day? Yes or no?
I think so.
I think so. I think she would.
She
I
would.
think she would.
I think she would. Good. So when I say would, it's the same as she used to. They're exactly the same. There's no difference. She
Oh.
would sit at the front of the class. She used to sit at the front of the class. They are equal. Okay? Sabrina, what's something that you used to do every day when you were that age?
I used to go to school every day.
You used to go to school every day. Okay. Now, would you go by bus or would you go by foot, Sabrina?
I would go by foot.
You'd go by foot. So you used to go by foot.
I used to go by foot.
Okay. You used to go by foot. I would go by foot. I used to go by foot. It's the same. Very good. Very good. Okay. So the same with the other sentence. I used to love you. Now this one's a little difficult because love is not an action. It's a state. It still works. It's still something repeated in the past. The feeling is repeated. But it works exactly the same as walking to school or sitting at the front of the class. Let's take a look at those two sentences. Let's see. Mr. Vincenzo, can you read the first sentence in exercise 6? Tell me if they're true or false.
Bernadette used to sit at the front of the class. She sat at the front once. She probably sat at the front every day. I think it's B is better. It's
Right.
the right one.
Okay. So just to go back to what we said before, it's a repeated action.
It's a repeated action here.
And Sylvia, what about number 2? You talked about the love you statement. So look at number 2 in exercise 6.
I used to love her. I don't love her anymore. I still love her today. I don't love her anymore.
Yeah, who needs her? I've moved on. I agree. So used to does not continue to the present. Sylvia, if it continued in the present, what word could we use instead of used to?
Present simple.
Yeah, I still love her. What if it's...
Perfect, no?
Try it. Give me a sentence, Jose.
I have loved her for 3 years.
Or I've loved her ever since I was in school. Yeah,
Okay.
it works too. Both of them work. Present simple and present perfect. It depends on how you want to talk about the actions. What if it's an action that happens today? Mr. Jose, how do you get to work? How do you get to your high school every day? Do you walk or do you drive?
Yes. To work. I used to work by car.
You used to drive to work. Is that right?
I used to drive to work by car.
No.
And what about today? Do you still drive?
Yes.
So you didn't used to drive. You still do it today. It's not. It doesn't finish in the past.
No.
So instead of used to, what's another you word that we could use to talk about the action repeating now. Every day I
Every
used
day,
to, or I. What's a frequency word we can use to talk about it happening still
usually.
today? Usually.
Usually?
Right.
Usually.
Right. So there's a little grammar point I want to put in the chat window, which is used to is for the past, and usually, of course, is for the present. Okay? Just because it's easy to mix them up. And used to can be replaced by would. It means exactly the same thing. I would take the bus every day. Now I'm an adult and I usually drive. I used to take the bus every day. Now I'm an adult and I usually drive. Okay. All right. Mr. Vincenzo, how are you?
Fine.
Okay. You look worried.
Worried? No, I'm thinking about this grammatical.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Let me see. Who else is there? Sabrina, let's talk about these sentences here. Exercise 7, what is the difference between used to and the simple past? Tick the correct rules. Okay, this is just to clarify what we basically said, and then we're going to move on. But let's try one or two of these. For example, we can choose used to instead of simple past to do what? Look at the rules below and tell me what you think.
Talk about single action in the past. I will take the bus to go to work.
Mm-hmm. So in exercise 7, which of those rules do you think applies to used to from 1 to 4?
I think 2, teacher. 2. Number 2, teacher.
I'm hearing number 2. Sabrina?
Number 2.
Okay. Only number 2? Not number 1, not number 3, not number 4?
Number 4.
Number 4. Talk about a state of the
that's not
past which
true.
isn't true now.
It's an
Not
action,
now.
not a state. I used to make something in the past.
Mm-hmm. But something that isn't true now. So number 4 works.
Yes.
I used to love her. It doesn't mean I love her now. It's a state that ends in the past. And you're right, it can be an action that ends in the past if it's a repeated action.
Mhm.
I used to walk to school. That doesn't mean I walk to school now. Okay? So just clarifying that. The last thing is the grammar box. So
But
Vincenzo,
could be
Yeah.
also a state, a state of feeling. I used to love her.
yeah, that's a state, exactly. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
not only actions, no, but also
Two
feelings.
two things. Habitual actions, repeated actions,
Or repeated
And-
feeling.
and yeah, feelings, exactly.
Yeah.
Feelings exist over a period of time.
Can we
So-
consider the feeling as actions or not?
No, they're not the same as actions, but I'm saying they continue during a period of time, and the actions can be repeated in a period of time. So in both cases, you're talking about not just one single event.
Mhm.
So they're the same. Vincenzo, look at the grammar box at the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
In exercise 8.
Yes.
So, give me a second. Maybe how can I do this here? On the right side, do you have a state or an action on the first row, Vincenzo?
Yes. I think it's a state.
Yeah.
State.
So what action could we fill in on the left side about Bernadette? About Bernadette or about the writer? What action could we fill in on the right side? On the left side, I'm sorry. On the left side.
I don't know what that's what wants.
Well,
What's the problem? If you plus
notice
plus
note
or
for an affirmative sentence,
Ah,
Minus for a negative sentence.
but plus in this moment, I love her.
No.
No,
Look at the
plus.
verb. Look at the verb at the bottom of the box on the left side.
Ah,
Did she used to sing? So you have to turn that into a positive statement.
and the
We
positive.
want to clarify what the form looks like as a positive
Ah.
and as a negative.
Used,
So what would it be?
she used to love her. I used to. But it's already in the affirmative sentence.
It's a question, though. It's a question.
Did he love her? Did he love her? No.
That's a question, though. We want an affirmation. We want a statement. So we want to look at how the verbs change with used to when they're positive, negative, or questions.
Positive in the present tense or not. He loves her. He loves her.
I know, but you got to use used to. Hang on a second. Let's give someone else a chance, and then you'll see what I mean. Sylvia, what would you put in the first box on the left side using used to about Bernadette? Positive statement.
She used to love her too. Him too.
Except that's not the verb we're using on the left. The verb we're using is used to. Look at the bottom.
It's not.
No, look at the bottom.
Is not box the first line?
First line, she used to sing.
She used to
sing. It's all the same sentence. It's all the same
thing.
Yeah, it's all the same idea. So she used to sing.
She used to sing. It was for referring at the right.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so look at what's the negative then in the middle box.
She didn't used to sing.
She didn't used to sing is correct. It's not true maybe, but that's the negative form. So number one is she used to sing. That's what it looks like as a positive. Number two is she didn't used to sing. That's what it looks like as a negative. And the third one, what do you think? What do you think, Santiago? The third one on the right. Now we're using love. What's the question form?
The third one.
Yeah. So now it's about him, and the key word is love.
I don't know.
Why not? Look at the other examples. Positive, he used to love her. Negative, he didn't used to love her. Question, what's the question for?
Okay. Did she used to love?
You are right.
Did she used to love her?
Perfect. That's it. Perfect. All right. I think you got the hang of the form. Now I want to know a little bit about your experiences. So forget about all this. There's some other exercises you can do on your own if you like, and I'd be happy to correct them. There's a listening, but we don't really have time to do that. I'm going to just skip ahead, and I want to focus on this. Talk about your memories of school, right? Talk about your memories of school. I want us to compare which school experience sounds the best, okay? Talk about what you remember. In particular, talk about things that you would do and you used to do. What's your fondest memory from school? Alejandro, give us a memory. You start us off.
I used to fight at school.
You used to fight at school?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Every day.
I would fight every day. Why would you fight every day?
Excuse me? Why?
Why would you fight every day?
Why the other why he no
The other kids?
Some kids was very bad.
Oh.
Very bad boys.
So the other kids were bad. other kids were bad. Is that right?
The other kids were bad. Yes,
So it wasn't your fault.
I was.
Or maybe
Student.
maybe you were the bad boy, Jose.
Yeah.
No. I was very good boy.
Oh,
The other kids was bad. Were
I
bad.
see. I see. You know what I used to do at school? You know what I used to do at school every day? You never guess. I used to not go. That's what I did.
I used to.
I used to not go to school.
You used not to go to.
I used to not go to school very, very, very often. In
Oh,
fact, yeah. In fact, I basically stopped going to school when I was 12. And then the government made me go again. I had no choice. But I used to avoid school a lot. I mean, like every single day. So I got into a lot of trouble. Mr. Vincenzo,
Yeah.
what was school like? What do you remember when you were in school? So when were you in school? Tell me the year.
And when I was at school, yes, I preferred always to stay. To choose the last seat.
I would sit at the back, like this. I would sit at the back.
of the teacher of the, how do we say, the place where there is the teacher, where there is the table, where there is a chair.
The desk?
Cut.
The teacher's desk?
The teacher desk, far from the teacher desk, that I could have a lot of students in front of me, and the teacher couldn't see me, because sometimes when she was going to, how can I say it, interrogate,
To call on me.
to call for the lesson, no? Or the lesson, all were bending her head, no? So in order not to be called.
Right. Called
Yeah.
on. The verb is
Called-
to call
called
on. Yeah.
Called on, yes.
To call on.
Me
Excellent.
the same. I was in the last seat, in the far seat from the teacher.
Mhm.
I was trying to not be seen from the teacher.
Of course. Of course.
Yes, I remember this kind of things.
We have just 10 seconds left. I don't know if I can hear from all of you. Mr. Jose, I'm just curious.
Yes.
Now that
I
now that you're a teacher, what were you like as a student?
Yes, I used to play with my friends to a soccer match or to marbles, things like that, on the street or at the school.
So, you mean instead of going to class?
No,
Oh,
no, in the free time.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I used to play.
I was a good student.
Okay, okay, okay. And what about you, Sylvia? You're still a student. You're never going to stop being a student.
Good student.
Yeah.
You've been a student.
No,
You've been a
but-
student for like 100 years.
Yes, for all my life, from the age of 3 months. Yeah,
Wow.
because I started before the kindergarten. So yes, all my life. But when I wasn't at school, I used to do my homework before class. And if I will be now, I would skip the classroom, the lesson.
You mean if you were a kid today? You mean
Yes.
if you could go back in time?
Yes.
So listen, not if it would be now. Is that what you said? I don't know what you said.
I don't know the tense there. Yes. If I will be now.
No. That's the future. If you're talking about going back in time, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
back in time.
If I could go back in time, if I would do it again, or there's more than one way to say it, Sylvia, but you got to use a past. if I would, or if I could do it over again, maybe we would
If I could be
say.
there, if I could be there,
Yeah, if I could go back, if I could
be there.
go back, or if I could do it. We say of expression to do it all over again. If I could do it all over again, I would skip class.
I could.
If
So-
I could do it all over again, I would
I
skip
would.
the class. I would skip the class.
Why is that? Why would you skip class?
Because I was too diligent. I did my homework.
Ah, you were too good.
And, yes.
Ah,
And
okay.
it would be funnier if I skip the class and go to some other place. And my mother is a teacher, so he was in the next building from my IT school. So it was impossible for me to skip the class.
But now you can become a teacher, and then you can skip class. Because when you're the teacher, you can do anything you like. That's my advice. That's my advice. All right, listen, everyone. I've got to start the next class. I'm sorry. I've got to stop here. But you'll have a chance to share your experiences in the next speaking skills class, I promise. Okay, so sorry I didn't give a chance to everyone to talk about it. But if you want a little extra practice, I want you to take that last question and write your answer. If you send it to me, I'll be happy to correct it and send you back and give you some feedback. Okay? So you can always do it as a little writing. I'll be back in just a moment to start. What's my class now? I'll tell you in just a second. I forgot what I'm doing. To start a new class called Fluency Fundamentals. This is a more basic class where you're going to work on basic vocabulary on different topics. Okay?
Good.
Bye for now, everyone. See you in a few minutes if
Thank
you're
you,
sticking
teacher.
around.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.